What's wrong with my stuff with it? Well, folks, want to say good evening and welcome to today's edition of the RiverSide Talk. It's a pleasure being here tonight, and we want to say welcome to our own Dr. Chris Lang, our guest, and today we will be talking about careers. So, well, folks, we want to say thank you for your time here tonight. The time is 8:03 Liberian time and it's 4:03 p.m. my time. Mama, I want to go to school. All right, let's welcome our guest here tonight, Dr. Chris Lang. Dad, good evening and welcome.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for inviting me on your show.
All right, thanks for your time here tonight. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's start with introduction. Who is Dr. Chris Lang? The kind of job you do, and let the public get to know you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So can you hear me too?
Yes, I can. You're loud and clear. So let's get to know you. Who is Dr. Chris Lang?
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Dr. Chris Zeeland. So the Z is Lakan. Um, as you know, I am from Nima, District 3, Lapier number 1. I am from a very humble beginning. This is what I would always like to say. From a very humble beginning. I grew up in Lapeer number 1, and I attended the inline school there that is now considered as the community school. From there, I attended Kanha, where I used to walk every morning to go to school because in Lapeer, there is no high school there. So after completing my elementary, I enrolled at Kanha, and I think that's where we cross path. You and myself, we cross path.
Yeah, Kanha Namre.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So we both attended public school. Both my secondary school year, I attended public school. I graduated 2010, and then from there, I enrolled at ABC, that's the African Bible College, right away. I was very fortunate. I don't call that luck, but I was blessed to attend ABC. God took me through because I could not afford to pay my fees there. I have to do work, student service, and one of the work that I was doing for the school, I was involved in accident. That was around 2020, 2000, 2012 also, where I broke my leg and my arm. I was doing research for the school just to pay my fees. From there, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in biblical studies, and then also with minor in entrepreneurship. Later, I came to Monrovia to continue to pursue opportunity. Like every other person from that side, as you know, because the economy in Lima is small, opportunities is small. So right after graduation, I moved with in Monrovia where I continued hustling. Now, I think the cadet program is becoming big, but I also was once a cadet. I was assigned to JFK. By then, it was very, very competitive. So I was handled by Mercy Cup and the Ministry of Youth and Sport. So I was interviewed. And I think at one point, we were 11 to that position, HR assistant to JFK. They were only looking for two-person. So we went through the interview, and then I know people can say that you have to know someone, but also you also have to be confident in yourself. Since we're talking about career, we'll talk about this a lot. I went through without knowing anyone. I think that was where I met Danu. He's now working as a deputy at CSA. I met him. He was part of the interview panel. I was successful. By then, with one other lady, I came first for that cadet program. I was once a cadet. I served for 4 months at JFK. And when we were just about to complete our cadet program, they have honoring for us. And I just, I'm not saying this to blow my own trumpet, but I came as the best performing cadet. I was recommended for employment. But again, I was not successful. But right away after that program, I had an opportunity to go in Nairobi, Kenya, where I did my master's in education, leadership, and administration. I'll just do an introduction, but I'll talk about the processes. But I completed my master's in a record 1 year, 3 months time. And then I came back, worked with the Ministry of Education for some time, did some consultancy, and then went back in 2020. I did my PhD in education, leadership, and administration, completed 2025. That's last year. So that's my educational journey. And for my career, what do? I do plenty things. Right now, I'm serving full time as the Deputy Executive Director for Planning, Research, and Development at the National Commission on Higher Education. And I'm also doing consultancy. Quite recently, I was recruited by the UN, UNIDO, and co-conducted terminal evaluation for $23 million project. We just concluded that. Also, as an independent consultant, strategic and institutional development consultant. I just completed a consultancy for LBS, that's the Liberia Broadcasting System. I developed a strategic plan and also completed a performance management system. I set up that system. I'm also representing Liberia at the Pan African Quality Assurance at AU. I'll be soon traveling to Ethiopia. We've been developing a continental quality assurance framework. And also, quite recently, I work with ECOWAS to improve their image system. We validated the image system for both primary, secondary, TVET, and higher education system to improve our data collection system. And also working with MasterCard to develop proposal. I was reached out to me directly to form part of a team that is building for a proposal to do evaluation for their project in 5 countries. So I'm doing different things for different institutions. All in all, I would say I'm an independent education and research consultant. And I'm positioning myself as a regional consultant, regional program consultant.
Well, all my thought going away now because that was a very extensive, career background. And like yesterday, I was saying something here. I said our time at Kanha in the 9th grade. That was you, Jenkins, Abraham. I think so far, these are the guys that have seen making headway. I don't know of any of our classmates that I can remember at this time that I can say yes. I think Perry is somewhere too, but all in all, it's a very good outlay that you just lay out, and for a very young Liberian to, be in that position is a worth, commendation. That is extensive. It is quite frustrating that our at this time our society, our age range for somebody at young age to be a doctorate degree holder, and also with all that qualifications. You're talking about man, the only thing I left for you now is to say, oh, I'm a consultant in the Western world. But as it stands now, you're big man. Well, I want to congratulate you on your achievements in life so far. That's a very brilliant one. And where you are now educationally, positioning yourself into an area where, people can reach out to you for consultation and things. It's a very good path. And that's one of the key reasons I thought of bringing you here today so that we can have a conversation, because looking at our educational sector, you and I went to our story is similar. I attended Gaple Inland Mission for roughly 9 years. Came to Kanha, did ninth grade with you guys, left, came to Monrovia, and then graduated from high school. And then while you guys were at ABC, we transitioned to Nima Community College after Monrovia. They now hold us into where we wanted to go to school. So, and then came back, traveled out of the country sometime back. So, and when I see you as an educator, if you look at our educational sector, we have this, influx of students that goes to school just because in fact, they went to school with not with the mindset of this is actually where I want to be or what I want to do. But some goes to school with influences on their decision. Maybe it is not what they wanted to do, but because a friend of them is doing maybe nursing, geology, accounting, business, and you name it, and then they encourage them to go and do such, but they are not actually where it is not what their specialization lasts, and at the end of the day, you see they get stuck, or maybe you graduate, no job. So this is why, thought it was that this idea we discuss career, technical education, so that our brothers and sisters who are coming out now will have some ideas of where actually they can position themselves to, educationally. And I think a couple of months back, you saw how when the AFL was doing recruitment, how those readings and things were. It took the entire social media, and it was quite frustrating that a high school student will not actually read. It was quite frustrating at the time. So that's the main goal of us being here tonight to enlighten the minds of our people, because I don't know. For me, like I always say, I didn't have career advisor to advise me, hey, this is how you go about doing it. But we did all we could by ourselves until I came into this country. Before I could even start hearing about career, I got advisors, and all through my journey, I have advisors assigned to me. We have it, but it is not that, I would say functional. I was talking to a couple of students from Liberia. Do you have advisors? They said you can only see them one time during registration. So that's why I thought it was to bring you on here tonight so we can have some discussion about careers, development, and technical education. With that being said, uh, we are going strictly ahead with our first focus point, which has to do with vocational education. What can you say about it?
Okay, Adolphus, welcome.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah,
in terms
you
of
know,
you talk about something which I want to,
What?
yeah, which I want to just make few comments on before moving to vocational and technical education.
Yeah.
In Liberia, on the overall my overall perspective about the education landscape, I would say the country is not giving much to the young people. The education system is not in very great shape. So, like you and myself, for me, I would refer to myself. I was very very lucky. If you listen very keenly, I went to school to do communication. Later, I did business, and then I also added credit and I did theology. I graduated with theology, and then that's my undergrad. Move transition very from biblical studies, from communication, from business. I went to education, and then now I'm working extensively in education and research. So I was very lucky. That's what I can say. It was not that nothing extra I did, but it's just by the grace of God. That's why when I look back, I feel that I owe so much to God and to my fellow young people in Liberia. And that's why I don't take any opportunity to provide assistance to young people struggling like me, because if it was not going to be by the grace of God, we were all going to be just moving all around with our career. It is not because we are not smart. In fact, when we were in class, we were not the smartest. There were people among us that were very, very smart. But the education system, I can say, is not doing much for young people. You don't have career guidance. The education quality is very, very poor. And I can see that parents are doing well to pay fees and even wanting to do more for their children, but the education system is not doing well for the citizen. That's what I can just say in a very nutshell. I know when you say this, it seems to be political, but I'm not a politician. I'm speaking as a Liberian. We need to do more. Always, we need to do more to improve the education system. The quality is low. Access is also an issue. If you look at higher education, you will see that duplications of programs. In fact, the capacity of those running higher education institutions is very, very low. I've been opportunity to work with people from all across the education sector. Capacity is very, very low. So as such, you talk about advising. People that are leading higher education institutions themselves need advisory. So again, they cannot give what they don't have. So for you to guide the student, you yourself, you need to be in a position that you will know what's happening. But if you are not able to know what's happening, you cannot also direct the next generation. So that's the issue. So thinking about talking now to vocational and technical education. Well, I would say that that field is very emerging. It's emerging. Except that in Liberia, people tend to look at vocational and technical education as alternative, um, not something that should complement each other. That when you are going to vocational school, it means that you don't fit, you are not able to go through college. It should not be looked like that. It should be a pathway. Like as indicated, we just completed evaluation of $23 million project for UNIDO. That focus phase one of that project we completed focus on it developed vocational and technical education center. I think at 12 centers. And if you look at the buildings that they put out, is very, very modern, second to none. They are very modern. They are the best. But some of the issues that you see that enrollment are very low. Why? Because people don't value vocational and technical education. And also, the equipment, the government is not investing in those TVET institutions. You will see the equipments, they are there, they are not operational. Small thing like gasoline to run the equipment, maintenance is not going to. All those issues is not just with the student, but it's also with the government. They have to see that for our country to grow, we need to have that technical people that will be able to build our country, the infrastructure. You're talking about a plumber, you're talking about people that will build a road, you're talking about agriculture, you're talking about construction worker, you're talking about mechanics. Those are people that are able to create real jobs for the countries. So in terms of vocational and technical education, I would say not more people are interested into that. But right now it's very emerging. Money is being put into that sector. The government also need to invest and align that to national development.
Well, that's good to know. I will hold it right there and turn to Adolphus. Mr. Adolphus,
Can
welcome to
you
the show.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Adolphus, welcome to the show. Your question.
Are you still getting me? Are you still there?
We are here, Chris. We hearing you. Adolphus is asking about to ask a question.
All right. I think our guest is listening. Thank you again, CEO, for recognizing me. Thank you again for the show. I think I've been a while.
Hold
Yeah, I've
on.
not been.
Yeah, he's having internet issue.
Yeah, I've seen something like that.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, all right, y'all not run away the video. I know what happened to y'all. Frankly, if you're watching, I think Abigail, look at the message. I know, Franklin, you're following. Look at the message. Abigail is sending a voice note. Please look at it first. Oh no, disregard. Franklin, that's different group. Disregard.
All
Welcome
right.
back. Yeah, welcome back.
Sorry, internet went off.
Okay, go ahead, Adolphus.
Yes, again, I want to say thank you again for the time, and want to just greet our director now in the in the show tonight, Mr. Lan. Thank you very much. You are welcome. How you doing?
I'm good,
Yeah,
Adolfo.
yeah, it's good to see you again. At least to have a talk tonight. I actually appreciate that. Thank you. Actually, when you talk about the vocational and that technical school and the enrollment, very not very encouraging. There's certain thing that came to my mind. Like you said, the major priority is the government. The government are not really putting in time, uh, let's say, mechanism that will actually make those things to be effective. And I will agree with you. Sometimes when you see those things, people may take it to be political, but not always politics. Yeah. Let's look at, for example, for me, I look at is that it's not that people don't want to attend a vocational and technical school, but I look at for instance, if the parent in whom sometimes they pay them 150 and they need a child vocational school. But the vocational school, the cost is 500, sometimes 600 US dollar. Okay. And the parent making 150. How do they afford, to send their child or children to the vocational school? So it becomes a serious challenge for us. So that's why you see more often, I want to say all those things and government need to put in and they have kind of vocational technical school. But without that, no building will just be there and we'll see them. But the way the buildings will function, people that sort of go there and attend those school, they will not find it because the parents are not making any good salary. So these are some of the situations that we face with in this country. So the government also have the major part to play. We can't blame parents. We can't blame our citizens, the young people. Sometimes they really want to go to school. They really want to learn. But the foundation, when it comes to financial issue, have been one of the serious challenges in this country. The pay issue, salary issue, parents who working want to send their children to school, they don't have the finance. How do they send their children there? So for me, I look at it to be one of the serious problems we have is from the government. It's not really the youth. Like we already said, the youth are not ready, they are not being empowered. All right. So you see those kind of situation happening continually in this country. So it's so good that you are one of those working in the higher education sector. So those things that you're bringing on, it will also help us that we can also enforce that. You people can enforce that especially the Ministry of Education and the higher education sector, people have to create another avenue or create a design program that will help. Sometimes it can be like a scholarship, offering scholarship for people who have interest in those kind of areas. And like that will produce more people. I don't know whether it have been that will help young people to find themselves in a kind of sector that will improve this nation, also improve themselves. So if it happens, then I will actually appreciate that. Yeah. So I think that one of the things I want to really understand, whether you people are planning on this, that those vocational technical school we are seeing that is not really getting back, and what have been some of the rationale behind it. For me, the rationale seen behind those things is that parents are not being ready, they are not being financially equipped. That would be one of the factors. That will be one of the factors that we see those things, those areas getting poor. All right. If yes, the parents are not getting those facilities that will help them to sponsor their children or child to school, what the government can do now. Okay. So the person who working at a higher education level to really know whether is there a plan that you people are making. If those things is not working, what can we do for the next generation of people in the country? Is a plan that you people are working on for providing scholarship for people who are interested in going to the vocational school? That's a question.
Okay, let me. Therefore, I'm not speaking tonight as government mouthpiece or as government representative. I'm speaking. So all of your questions should not go in that regard. But I'm speaking as a citizen of Liberia, a professional person. Um, yes, so unfortunately, I cannot respond to your question in that regard in what the government is doing, since I'm speaking in my capacity as a professional person. But again, I understand what I can really also say is that those TVET institutions, they are not really expensive. What I will continue to encourage young people to go there, in as much as the quality, or in as much as it is not where it's supposed to be, it is also good for them to take advantage of those opportunities to have hands-on skill. Yeah, not everyone will go through this degree program. It's also good that young people take advantage of those programs. The facilities are there, but gradually the government, in as much as they are not where they are supposed to be. But I think the construction, having a facilities, is something that is commendable. But we also make some very important recommendations to the government. The young people can take opportunity of those take advantage of those opportunities. You have agriculture program, you have the plumbing, you have um, masonry, you have the road maintenance. They are there, yes, electricity. They are at BWR. They are at Todman. They are at Zweju. They are at Kipamos. They are just all over around the country. Not everyone will go just to attend this degree program. They can take advantage of those small opportunities. Now that you see that a yellow machine, they are bringing a yellow machine all over in the country, there will be high demand for maintenance, road maintenance, heavy duty equipment. Those are areas that young people can also take advantage of.
All right. So I have a question on the line here, and it says, how can vocational education help students who are unsure about their future career?
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. You know, young people, what I can always say is that you will not graduate from high school and know exactly your career path. It's not going to happen. You have to work. You will wonder for some time. You will try different opportunities. It's going to take you time. This is why I can say there is no elevator to you getting to your career destination. It's not going to work that way. You will try, you will fail, you will try, you will fail, you will try, you will fail. What I can say is that just continue trying. Don't let any opportunity pass you by. You will not be sure from the beginning, but once you continue trying, there will be some things that you will be doing, some things that you will now discover that you are good at. Even if you go back, the different skills that you gather now will be what will help you to see clearly what you need to do. The skill, the education, the experiences now will help to give you a clearer picture. But even if you graduate from school, from high school, from college with masters and PhD, you are not going to right away automatically come up with your career path. You will try, but it will come with the skills you develop, the people you work with, and so forth. This is where I can tell people there's a difference between getting job and building a career. So as you move along the ladder now, you will get to now move from just getting job to get ends meet and now build a career. So I will tell them that they should continue to try, they should pass them by.
All right. This other question is from Franklin. It says, if the country is not doing well in the educational sector, what can be done to improve the system? Should we prefer TVET education or tertiary education? That is the degree. You want me to show it over? So basically, he should have been online, but he's having a network crisis. And that is his question. Yeah. Can you hear me there? Well, folks, we are in conversation with Dr. Chris Lam, son of Lima, and the one of a professional person too as well, one of education, Liberia. He's one of the educator in Liberia. Oh, I see why. Can you hear me?
Yeah, for me, I can hear you.
Yeah. So, I said this question was from Franklin. He says, if the education is not doing well, if the country is not doing well in the educational sector, what can we, what can be done to improve the system? Should we prefer a TVET education over the tertiary education?
Okay, thank you very much. I think the first question, what can we do to improve? Um, we will need to have a system approach to improving the education sector. What I can say is that we have very low capacity. We also have the education system is not independent of politics. Um, and towards your lighter question, whether we should prefer TVET over tertiary education, they should both complement each other. They both are, are important.
All right, both are important. Well, folks, we are in conversation. We are talking about education here tonight, and it is Dr. Chris Lan, our own brother from Nimba, a young professional individual, is our guest here tonight. And the whole goal here is to give information about education. And if you have a question, send it via the Facebook page. He's still with us for a little bit of time, and then after that, we will take leave of him. But that before then, one may want to know. Uh, yeah, man. Sometimes this librarian, they are librarian that way. It can really make people to do something, man. We having a serious conversation, and so now they never seem to start misbehaving. Yeah, when we will pass this stage? When? Adolphus, Adolphus, come here, answer question. What really happened today, your librarian here? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Adolphus. You are still muted. Adolphus, you are muted. Well, folks, that is it here tonight. We are in conversation with Dr. Chris Lam, and our network, Liberian Network, is giving us problem, and hopefully he will reconnect to join us. And like I said, and I've been saying, the whole goal here is to bring, enlighten the minds of our fellow brothers and sisters. The whole thing about us not paying attention to the technical education, and our whole goal is college education. And don't get me wrong, college education is so fine, very, very fine, right? If you listen to the intro of him, he's a young man that, rose through a lot of challenges, and now he's a doctorate holder, he's a consultant, he does his private consulting, and also work for the government. That's what we want in education. But welcome back.
Yes, sorry, the network is.
I totally understand. Everybody, all the followers know your Liberia is very interesting. So here's the thing, right? One may want to know. We're talking about tertiary education and that of the TVET program. What are some of the benefits that comes with those two, distinct paths, but they intertwine?
Okay. I would like to talk about the tertiary education. Now, one of the problems that we really have with tertiary education in Liberia is the issue of planning. We need to take some time to look at what's happening in the market, because what you will see here is that you will see people graduating from university and not getting job, while at the same time you will also see people foreigner coming in Liberia and getting job, etc. So then people will try to say, oh, we need more Liberians to get job. The question is, do we have really prepared Liberians to get job? Yes, I agree. In some instances, some of the job that the foreigners coming to do, we have Liberians that are able to, are more qualified to do it. But what I would like to say is that we need to take time to look at what happened in the job market and then align higher education program with the job market so that people graduating will be able to get job. In fact, if you have a very strong educational program, you will need not just graduate to work in your country, they can go elsewhere and work. The world is more interconnected now. Like I said from the beginning, I can sit here and work everywhere around the world. So that's what we need. We need to now align our university program with what's happening in the job market. Now I can tell you that if you check the university program, I just completed one study, public university. I tried to look at that program. What you will see is that there are a lot of duplications of program.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord. Network Liberia. Damn. Frankly, the network is giving problem. Well, folks, that is it. We are having a conversation in Liberia. Internet will not give us chance. And, this is one of the topics that I expected a lot of young people to come on and listen. But the network is bad.
Yes. So can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, better now or still
You're
bad?
good. You're good. You can continue from where you start.
Yeah, so what I was saying is we need to align our university program with the job market. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
you
right
know,
now you have, yeah, you
go ahead. Any your thought.
mhm.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so you
Any your
have
thought.
university in Liberia. They are still of they are still offering program business program, and enrollment in business program continue to grow. Business program like accounting, business program like management, and one of the courses that I see people doing that I don't fully understand is public administration. A lot of students are going that field, and I don't know where they intend to get job. So you also see more nurses. The nursing program continue to grow. I understand quite well that when we came from the war, there were need for nurses all around. But now I think we have more nurses than we need. So programs are enterprising now has to do with ICT program, machine learning, data analytics, um, education, larger education planning, capacity building, curriculum and instructions. Those are programs to me that are very enterprising. But traditional programs like the account business program, nursing program, um, I don't think universities should still be offering those programs. They need to be a cap. So again, universities are supposed to sit down, look at the job market, and be able to align their program with the job market. And the same thing with the TVET program. So when those things are done, we will have our programs will be relevant not just to Liberia, but to our region and to the continent, even to the entire world. Somebody can graduate from here and work anywhere around the world. So we can also start if even if our nursing program is quite good, we can start sending nurses out to go and work. So we don't just need to think local, we need to act local and also think global. That's my approach to education planning. It has to be strategic, it don't have to be, but again, the capacity is supposed to be there.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you in that sense because um, over the past I have observed and seen that a nurse will leave from India and come to America and work. But our nurses or doctor will leave from Liberia and come here. And when they get here, their document is not allowed. They will have to do something here. All right. Some will take the state exam, the state board, like the nurses, they will take the state board exam. And then once that is done, if they are successful, they have the lesson, but they cannot independently, practice. They will be under the supervision of somebody. I had a couple of friends who came here as nurses, and that's what they are doing. But then they feel that it is quite frustrating what you learn came here and then you got to be with somebody not being independently trusted to practice. So they went back going back to school here to get some form of education to familiarize themselves before they could even be free to practice on their own. So I agree with you. And one thing that I see we lack in our tertiary educational sector is the RT. Now, uh, I specialize in health informatics. I stand to be corrected. I don't know whether that program exists in Liberia, but this is a combination of both health and IT. Even I can open a consulting firm in Liberia and work with those Ministry of Health and set up systems for them where a doctor can stay right there in Monrovia, and a patient's from NEMA record will just be automatically in the system. If the patient goes to JFK and say, well, I've been to so and so clinic, they only put the IDE in them get the patient's information. But things like biotech, we don't see it flourishing in Liberia. The only thing we see is business management, accounting, and this and that. Don't get me wrong; they are all very uh, fine career path. But is the job available for people to do? Is there enough job for those folks in our field to do it? Now, my sister who next to me did business management, and when she was doing it, I'm like, are you actually thinking what I'm thinking? After college, will you find a job? Where do we get this job for people to be employed in business and accounting? Now, she graduated back in 2023. I think 2023 or 4. Yeah, 23. She graduated in December from LRCC. She didn't get a job until late 2025. So just think about that gap. You work it down, so you are doing something in somebody's store. Is it what really you wanted to go do? So, it's quite important that, like you said, institutions align their program with the job market. Then you get attraction. It is, honestly, it is quite frustrating with us that up to now, we struggle into another man country when we are, degree holders and coming to places like America where you realize that your document is not valid unless you have certain piece of paper from here to make it valid. So I agree with you in that point. We need to actually align our system with what is happening now around the world globally. But those tech area are areas that really means people, and people will depend on the machine learning, data analytics, informatics. These are areas that are booming around the world, but we don't have those systems. So I agree with you in that sense. And I think there was another question here. They were asking you. They said, please provide more emphasis on the systemic change that is needed. What can be done to make the sector void of politics? Looking at your PhD dissertation, that you share a component of it on Facebook. How can it be used to revamp the sector? This is from Franklin. And Franklin is one of the panelists on the show, but he's having internet crisis tonight.
Let me see the question again. Yeah, so Franklin, thank you. Let me address your first question, which has to be with concern with systemic change. When I talk about change, education, it's not just acquiring degrees. It's about what you're able to do with the learning. So the government has to design the education system based on where they want to go. It's not just doing it because we want to support discovering. It's not this is not just unique to this government, but it's something that the government needs to sit down, look at the country, develop strategic plan for the country, where it is and where it wants to be in the future. Based on that, the education system can support, like for example, what sort of infrastructure we want to invest in, what are our priorities, how do we want to see our citizens in the next 5-10 years to come. If you have those plans, then you can align your education system to support. So your education system should not just be developed in isolation of the national plan. And you will see that when a plan is even developed to implement the plan, we don't have the capacity to monitor regularly to implement the plan. So everything happening, you see the government is responding to issues, you see the education system responding to issues. They are not being strategic, they are not being proactive. So that's what I mean. Again, there is no quick fix solution like do X, Y, and Z. But we have to be very strategic. We need to see as a country where we want to be 4 or 5 years to come. If I would say 10 years, and then align our education system to meet where if we need more nurses, that's where the government will invest into. Now they're talking about tourism. Is how well is the education system supporting how many universities in Liberia offering programs in tourism? You'll not find none. I work for EU program. We wanted to have Liberian that have bachelor's degree in hospitality. We could not find one. So they are talking about tourism, but you don't see any university program offering tourism. So again, we are very long way to where we want to get. I can say that everything here is being politicized. The appointment you see is not built on technical capacity; it's built on political connection. You see that young people even going to school. That's why I can see education. You have the supply side and the demand side. They are going to school not because if I get this degree, what am I able to get with it? I have to go pledge allegiance to politicians before I get job. So even the confidence level, it's not about when I'm going to school. It's not about I'm going to school. Let me put my all into it because when I graduate, I'll have to compete. No, it's not how it is looking. So you have the supply side and you have the demand side. When we get to the point where young people want to go to school because when they have the degree, they have confidence that yes, indeed, I earn this degree. I can go and get job with this degree. Frankie, I can tell you it's going to be difficult. So we have a lot of strings, a lot of small work that's supposed to be done before we get to where we even want to get. I'm not here to prophesy that if we do X, Y, and Z, we have to overhaul our entire national system. We need to overhaul our political system before even the education system can start moving. So in terms of my dissertation, well, it has to do with teacher improving teacher attrition, again, which is another big issue in the education sector. What I propose, other people are using it. But again, the issue of data usage in Liberia, research usage in Liberia is a problem. But I'm talking about what can we do to improve teacher retention in rural area. Again, my approach is that education, it is not like health, where that when you are sick, they give you injection, you get healed. It has to be systematic. You have to look at the pieces and bring them together.
All right, Frankie, I hope you got the answer. Adolphus, let's hear you. Do you have anything?
Yes, thank you again, Dr. Lang. I think that's the same situation that we face with today again. Oh, my question had to do with now you are talking about vocational and technical school, and one of the things I want to know is whether the vocational and technical school that you are talking about are they ready that after the graduation or learning all the trade, are they ready to employ their students? Because for me, one of the things that I observe in this country, sometimes you learn all your technical, vocational, all the kind of stuff you get out here to do the work. But sometimes you see yourself working on somebody again who had the BSc coming to take over. All right, that been one of the serious challenges. That I'll say I forget about BSc. Let me go and learn the technical thing and improve myself. And sometimes if the job is not there, and the people who have the job now, they have the qualification of having BSc or sometimes certain degree level. I don't have it. So what I'm supposed to for that particular thing I've learned, are being suppressed. So in those vocational and technical school we're talking about, are they put in place mechanism that after my learning process, okay, after learning, go and get a job, or I will come from there again, start looking for a job to another people. So these are some of the things that sometimes it conflicts some of us that we say, okay, better we learn one thing. Yeah. So is there a mechanism in place now that we have to go and learn a vocational? From there we have another, because another thing that I noticed that some of the vocational school go for 9 months. And why you supposed to learn for so many years, you're gonna go for 9 months, and 9 months you see that people who coming from that, they are not very equipped to do what they're supposed to do. Like Mr. Vowell asked me, what is the problem concerning your electricity in Liberia? It just draw down to my community. There are people who go to school for 6 months, electricity school, they say they came from there, they learn. They just playing with people, transformer here. We call them, they come, they play with it, and next day you see the transformer blow off. And those people, they attended a vocational school, they came from there. So I don't know whether they'll be not practical, because sometimes not everything will be theoretical. One of the things that we observed that so I entered the school, everything theory. It's they're very practical that people will go and learn. From there, you will be really equipped not to go and work on somebody. Is there some mechanism in place that will get our prioritize of vocational school? Mr. Lam, is there any way that when I come from a vocational school, I'll be able to get somewhere to work, to my hand to be on practical thing constantly? Or am I coming from there again to go those same BSc people to go and work on them and be deprived of what I'm supposed to get?
Okay, Frankie, that's a very good question. Very valid. But one thing, yeah, Adolfo, one thing that I've learned in life is that patient. You have to be patient. And this mindset that we think to blame other people for our misfortune. What I can tell young people is that when you are coming up in life, you have to be patient. And when you graduate, even when you graduate with your PhD, with master's degree, you still need to grow. You still need to grow. And once you are in a school, everywhere you find yourself, every opportunity, make use of the opportunity. Some of the skills that I learned I learned them by myself. Yes, I learned them by myself. We went to Khan High School. We never had access to computer. We never have access to functioning library. We have to do the extra work. What I can tell people now is that before knowledge was hidden from people, now people are hiding from knowledge. So you can go on the internet and learn almost everything there. That's one part. Once you are in a school, you are learning whether 9 months, 6 months. From my own side, I see that the government, the citizen, the government is not doing well for the citizen. Again, we cannot shift the blame on the government. If you go to school, you learn your good book. If you learn your book, you get your job. You will pay tax to the government, but you as an individual, you will enjoy. You will enjoy. So you need to take responsibility. Again, that has to do with skill development. You have to take opportunity. You have to invest in yourself. Even as we speak right now, I continue to invest in myself. I have subscription. I have a professional body that I'm part of. I'm paying those fees for myself. You have to grow your career. Again, when you graduate, frankly, you have to take time to grow. This is how I love to use this example, like the airplane. When you are on the ground, you have to what? Take time, you move slowly, right? Before the plane gets in the air, you move slowly, and then you gain momentum to go up. So when you go up, you have to navigate. When you reach that zone, the clear zone, that's where you gain the balance. That's how I see career. So when you are coming up, you will have to what? You need to give yourself some time to build that momentum. There will come a time that you work under someone that don't even have the qualification. You have to humble yourself. You have to grow. You have to, just because you have the qualification, it is not in any way saying that they are going to bow down to you. Oh, Franklin, you just graduated, you get a bachelor's degree, so once you come in, you will get you this job. No, you have to grow. But you will reach to, if you grow, you are patient with time, you reach to a point now that people will come to you with job. You will not be going out looking for the job, but you have to give yourself that time. You have to invest in yourself. You have to build relationship. You have to build network. You have to build repetition in that field. If you are in haste to get there, you will not get there. That's what I can say. You need to give yourself time to grow. Yeah. There is no shortcut. You will try, you will feel, you will work with people, they will let you down. But once you are persistent, you will grow. Again, that is why I want to say our society is very hostile to young people. Very, very hostile to young people. This is one thing I want to tell young people. The more you try to go up, the more people want to bring you down. So you have to be very smart to navigate your way. You have to be humble. The people will want to prick you. People will want to provoke you. If you react to all of those things, you will not get to where you want to go. You have to remain humble. You have to take it easy. You have to give yourself time so that you grow and grow. Thank you.
And Adolphus, to buttress what Dad said, the issue of the technical education and that of the tertiary education. So for me, this is what I see. I don't think somebody with bachelor degree will go to become, let's say, a plumber. No. And one thing that I see that, like he said something, our society is not giving chance to the young people too. I kind of agree with that, because we are not yet arrived at an area where we will have, encouragement for entrepreneurship. Like I always say, from what I say, if maybe somebody want to get certificate in, let's say, plumbing, you're not coming to say, I'm going to look for a job. You might be lucky to find, to start with somebody, or maybe where you did your internship to start with that person and, do some hands-on experience with the person. Now, but you can't be with the mindset of going to open my own LLC in my own name. Because whatever is done in a contractor format. You open your own LLC, you get your own business registry, license, everything in your name. Now you contract with people. You got people working for you. But we are yet to arrive at that point where we will encourage entrepreneurship among our youth so that they will have that confidence to grow instead of just being, because our mind is molded in a way that all the thing we want to do is solely everybody want to get in the boss man or the big boss era, white collar to go to work. That's our intention right now. But I think, and the point you raise is valid, that maybe when I did certificate or diploma in construction, then somebody went to Stella Marie or any other institution and got bachelor in no field. But then coming back now, the person is boss man over me. Yes, I see it. The frustration is there, but equally so, you got to make sure and push yourself up. And like you said, it's patient. Everything is patient. Patience, you arrive one day at where you want to be. So that's my little input to your question. If you have anything else,
Oh man. Okay, I have another question. I think when the guest can, you'll be able to pose it to him. The question is do we have technical people in this country? If yes, we have technical people in the country, is the government really doing business with them? Yeah. If we have technical people in this country, is the government really doing business with those people?
all right. So that when you went up, Adolfo asked questions, and he says, "Do we have technical people in the country? And if so, is the government doing business with them?" I think he said he's not here as government official, but in his own professional way. So let's keep it as: is there any technical people in the country?
Well, like I said, the TV sector is growing. It's growing. We have some technical people, but we need more technical people. Evidence is that if you go to ArcelorMittal, most of the people doing a technical job, they are not from Liberia. So, but quite recently, like I said, the government is investing. They are sending out more people to go to countries around Africa to acquire technical education. I think that's what I can say to that. Yeah. But again,
All right.
let's say you were saying something I also wanted to comment on when you were talking about starting your own business. You know, let's say it's very difficult to even start business in Liberia. To get a business registration is going to take you time. I know there have been some improvement. Access to microfinance loan is an issue also. You don't have really access to microfinance loan. If you get money in Liberia, the percentage can sometimes be very high if you go to go credit. And then the collateral, they're going to ask you for something that you yourself you don't have. So it's a little bit difficult to even start business in Liberia. Again, should we sit down and do nothing? No. I have this positive perspective to issues that you will not have what you need, but what you have, what are you doing with what you have? That's my best perspective. If you want to blame other people for your misfortune, we're going to blame people for what happening, what not happening. But again, we need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility. That's my own philosophy of life. I don't blame.
Labia. Yeah, this man, Liberia is interesting. Well, folks, if you're following us, it's the 12 River platform. We are in conversation with Dr. Chris Land, and we're talking education here tonight. We are on education. Here we go.
Okay. Okay.
And your thought, you were saying something.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying to young people that they should be very positive and not sit down and blame other people. Yes, it's hard to be successful everywhere, and even in Liberia, it's very, very difficult. But if we focus on the problem, we are not going anywhere. Let's take initiative, the opportunity we have.
Let's take initiative and the opportunity. So, Dr. Lan, you as a young professional person,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I said you as a young and professional person, looking at our populations and looking at the way in which we see that even though in your earlier statement you said youth don't actually have the opportunity to put themselves out there. What are some recommendations can you give to the populations, our youthful populations, about how they can go about maneuvering their way through to be able to get somewhere?
Well, that's a very good question. Again, I will still maintain that it's difficult to be successful everywhere and in Liberia. But young people now, one thing in terms of recommendation to build your own career is that you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. One, invest in your education. When you are going to school, you have to not just think that when you go into school, you're going to school to get just the paper. Build that confidence, and also invest in your own education. That's one thing. You have been taught in a classroom. I will say this, and I will give you an example. Most of the things that I have learned and I'm using, I learned them not just from the classroom. I learned them myself. And for example, way back then, when I used to apply for a job, I would apply for 150 jobs and then get one interview. But what I learned from the process, one is that when sometimes when they post job vacancy, they can ask for some specific skills. So what I will do is that I will go and start learning those skills myself. Now that you have internet, that one thing that I can do. So I will just go to the internet and start learning those skills. So when I have money, where do I put my money? I put my money in data, and then I make sure that I'm always connected to the internet. That's one thing. And when we were going to school in Canada, I had the curriculum in mind with me. So I used to learn beyond what was taught. So when with the wire, when everyone feel wired during our time, like in economy, I passed with I think it was Perry and myself we passed out of the subject because I learned from the curriculum and not from what was being taught. And now that we have digital, everything is just there. Once you have a curriculum, you can go and learn beyond the classroom. That's when you can make yourself very unstoppable. Again, you have to build relationship. It's very important. You need to build productive relationship. This is one thing. Young people in Liberia, sometimes they get job, but to maintain a job that issue. So you need to learn to build very productive relationship. This is where when you get a job, you have to maintain a job. This is where young people I've worked with, interacted with employer, and they complain about young people attitude in Liberia. They don't want to go to job. And when they go to job, they complain. They are on their phone. They are not regular, and so for when they lose job, and then they go into
I don't want. We gotta set our country and buy internet.
Ah,
Damn man, what is this?
Liberia.
We have a serious conversation and then we come this people and you're talking that.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
I was talking about
Yeah.
building good network. Yes, good network, having positive attitude. Yes, so you have to get job. You have to maintain your job. So, and maintaining job has to do with having the right attitude, being punctual, or always having that positive attitude, learning. And also, again, you have to think forward, have that strategic thinking. If you get one job today, think about how you can improve tomorrow. Always learning, have that attitude of improving yourself. So I understand that when young people, when they get one job in Liberia, where they pay them 450, they are complacent. But they also need to think that if you continue improving your skill, you can work one day and you get $1,000, they pay you $1,000. So that thing that you think that when you get one job they pay you $500, you have reached. Always be learning. What if that one job that you're thinking on, like what happened to Yusuf? I was working for Yusuf, and then out of something, the entire program crashed. So if I'm that kind of person that just hold on to job, just have that one skill set, I'm gonna be without job. So you need to always be learning to improve your skill. And also you need to have build your profile. This is very important. Build your profile on the internet. If you are an accountant, if someone look at your profile on Facebook, it should look at an accountant. It should not look at a content creator. If someone look at your profile on LinkedIn, it's supposed to look like an accountant. So you need to build your profile that I can tell you, I think I mentioned that from the beginning. Now, people can now look at my profile, look at my work online, and reach out to me directly to do specific thing for them. So you need to build your profile both on the internet. That when someone look at your LinkedIn profile, they look at your Instagram, they look at your Facebook, it should all speak together and say the same thing. So those are a few recommendations that I can provide to young people. Like it's not easy, but you have to work, and continue improving.
Work, and continue improving. I want to say thank you for your time. I know your internet is giving problem. We'll go ahead and take your parting comments, and after that, we will order a day from your end because Lakura is not giving you a chance. We will have this conversation continuously. At times, we'll bring you on for conversation on education and guidance to our population. So let's hear your parting comments.
Okay, thank you very much for extending invitation to me. I'm not used to talking on a social media tab. I always used to operate. I always like to operate from the back. But also, I think some of the things that we experience, some of the things that we've learned, is also good to encourage young people. Like I said, young people, it's good to always continue learning and don't think that always have that thought that people will help you always. This is a syndrome that will depend on politicians, we depend on other people, we blame other people. Again, why if we let the politicians do their work and we young people we make ourselves independent? So once we continue to, the more we depend on the politicians, the more powerful they become. The less we depend on them, the more powerful we young people become. So let's continue to invest in ourselves. Let's continue to improve ourselves. And we are always available to provide assistance to young people. Like Adolfo will always occasionally call me, reach out to me when he needs consultation, when he want to make some decision. Yeah, we are available. We are busy. We are also improving ourselves, but we are always available to support young people professionally. So thank you again for your time.
Well, I want to say thank you for your time being here tonight. I don't know of our class. Is that 2007, 2008? 2000, I think 2006, 2007 school year. Now I don't know of our class. Like I said, besides you, Jenkins, Abraham, that I have seen so far that have gone, beyond the normal line. I've not seen a couple of our friends stand to be corrected that have crossed that path. But it's a good thing, especially as a young man like you are, to be in that terrain right now. It's worth, your time. Your professor now will sit down and listen to you, my man. Yeah. So thank you for your time here tonight. We'll keep bringing you over to offer some pieces of advice to our populations and ourselves. Because, like you said, learning is everyday thing. We learn gradually. Even with the PhD, you can't just be, complacent about it that I have PhD. In let's just say in a couple of years from now, the wave of PhD, the path or the various specialization will be changing. But by the time you get there, you have various, experiences under your belt, credentials added. It puts you on a map also. So it's a good thing to have you around, and we'll continue to offer those to listen to your guardians so that our populations can learn through that as well. So thank you for your time. Your network is giving problems. We'll continue to have conversation on this show. When you see our test, just give us heads up. We'll come here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, thank you too. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Long. Thank you very much. Like you people started the statement today by, we need a VASA. One of the serious challenges we face in the country, entering in university, you don't see a VASA one time. The rest of your whole year, you can't see the animal. Yeah. So these are the things that actually we need in the country. Yeah, we need a VASA, people to advise people. So as a young man coming up, professional man today is very much important. We actually appreciate that. Like you said, for me, there are certain areas when I reach, I can't understand, I call you, and whenever you talk to me, I relax. Yeah, I actually appreciate that. So thank you very much. That would be one of the messages I had to go.
I mean, I'm consulting.
Yeah, sure. Seriously, we need our people, young people need a VASA. We need people like Dr. Lam now in this country that will motivate and encourage the young people despite their situation. Need to be encouraged. We know it's not easy. Yeah, you can't say I find myself struggle. I go to school, I end, time come, you can't see no here, no take, no improvement. So sometimes we kill some people. They rely on the one certificate or one degree, but that kind of encouragement coming to improve on yourself, continually improve on yourself. Time will come. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you again. I can always say this, like you notice from my thought, you have to always be learning. Always be learning. Let your goal be ahead of you. When you are here today, you think about where you want to get tomorrow, because the world is changing, technology is changing, everything, even to get on this platform is something new for me. So it's a learning curve, always learning and always growing. Even with the PhD, it's nothing, because I got my PhD 1 year ago. Some of the software we use, they are absolute now. So yes, learning is something that we all have to do. And I don't feel like I can tell you, you are an educator. You can leave from there, even go to America and go teach there based on what the same thing that people there learning, you can learn it from right here online, everything. So let's continue learning. Let's continue that network. Let's continue supporting each other. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you. All right, folks, welcome back. It is the Toa River platform. Let's take our music and then we'll continue on the show here tonight.
Are you lady record sweet sound? I concretare mama. Ya no se. Não vai a que meta. E me gane não caindo babo. Não ne don yam. Não ne don yam. E não ne don yam. Me gane não cago mama coco. Não ne don yam. Puno wama banu koma kale gubia. Para cada uma boia gubia. Não ne don yam. Para cada sua. Não ne don yam. E wala monsenyo. E wala monsen talo gubia babane. E wala monsen kwendo gubia babe mama. Me kane não ne don yam. Não ne don.
Yes. You know, I don't know how to interpret this song, so I don't want to get into trouble again. Well, folks, want to say welcome back to the Trial River platform. We are here. We just hosted Dr. Chris Long, and we spoke about education. Now, you know, I know some of you will come across this video, but the whole intent here is that if you say you want to do something, do it with dedication, right? And he said something here that I agree with. And I think it's about time that higher institutions across Liberia do research themselves about the market value right now. We are still offering things like accounting, business management, but I don't know whether we take into consideration whether those specializations are in demand. Because we have a lot of business and accounting graduates that are still looking for jobs. Some are in a store. Some resulted in doing their own business. Now, can we have a cap on that program and try to reintroduce professions that are, you know, booming as we speak? When it comes to technology, it's a leading career force now. You can work globally, and I'm a living witness to that. I specialize in health information management. Now, this is a profession that it is not well known, even globally. It is beginning to gain momentum in America, but I am here to see that it is in Liberia. It is a kind of profession that nurses, doctors depend on for them to do their job. Because with you, it's just that we don't have, you know, we are not yet into internet business in Liberia where we do things electronically. But with that system, a doctor who is in Grand Gillette, a patient who lives in Grand Gillette, and maybe was transferred to another facility, let's just say they brought a patient to JFK or JFD in Tapeta, right? That patient health information is just in the data. It's a data that is in the system. Once it goes to any part of Liberia, your information is already in the system. Nurses and doctors can just pull your record from there and know the kind of condition you've been having. It is true the job of the profession at our day. And that the school that I attended, we have every semester, every September and that of February, they have that awareness. And I am part of that, volunteering something that goes out. When it's time we go out, you know, talking about over 2,000 to 3,000 will come around. You know, they will be passing from booth to booth. You're talking to them just to let them know. Then those people those kids, I got it, people in high school coming around, 8th graders coming around, so you can talk to them. They get in the picture of where they want to go. And through the conversation at times when I'm talking to those kids, some of them will be like, I never heard about it. Say, yeah. So when you go to, then I would say, when you go to the hospital, you realize that you see doctor come and sit behind, sit in his or her chair, and then pull in their login, and then get your information. They will begin to ask you questions and say yourself. That is the job of this person. Then they'll be like, oh, that's cool. You know, those just like that. But that is not just it. You have information technology. Do we have it? I know they said they have Star College in Liberia, but do we have enough? Are we introducing those profession, making it more, consumable to our youth, our students. Biotech, which has to do with bio and technology, right? These are, you see the Indians, that is their specialization. Those guys can sit there and work with global company like Eli Lilly. They produce drugs. Those guys sit there because they specialize into that. Eli Lilly have another headquarters there that they operate. They produce drugs, pharmaceutical drugs down there. These are professions that makes that when you even get degree into them, we're talking about you're starting, you intern thinking about 100 plus. When you in your senior level, you're thinking about that. So we need to start revamping our sector and think that, hey, are we actually in this range? Can we do some adjustment? Public administration, like he said, I don't know, I'm doing public administration. For you to go become district commissioner, which public facility you going to become administrator to? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those professions are bad, but let's look at what is in demand now and what we can do to put ourselves out there. These are things we should be looking at. What can be done to elevate ourselves? How do we go about solving those issues? Now, he said something about hospitality and tourism. We're building hotels in Liberia, but then we don't have somebody that is, we don't offer hospitality and tourism that people will go and get degree into them. These are areas that makes money. Hotel makes money. Hotel management, you win. There may be hospitality and tourism. You manage a hotel. You know what that means? Liberia has a lot of tourism sites, and those areas are, gradually coming to light. We need people to manage those things. You can't just grab somebody and say, "Oh, go sit down over there." Everything people got to learn that. People got to learn. People got to learn them. And in the healthcare field, it needs people. But our attention is only on nursing. Nursing. Yes, very good. Don't get me wrong. That's my alma mater there. But it is not just nursing that makes the healthcare field. We have more nurses than physician assistants. We have more nurses and midwifery than physician assistants. We have more nurses and midwifery than lab technicians because we don't want to, and I get a point. I remember at now Nima NU, when we started back then, people were kind of like the lab technician student where you hear somebody saying, I'm going to play with people, I'm going to play with blood. I'm going to play with urine. But these are areas too on the healthcare field that are contributing towards the health sector. Nurses and doctors alone cannot do all. If you look at the way hospitals or clinic is structured, it has various components. various departments. You have the business department. You have, lab. You have nurses. You have doctors in the hospital. You have physician assistants. How many physician assistants we have in Liberia? I think TMA takes about 50. Takes about 50s, right? But later on, we have almost every county. Even in almost around in Monrovia alone, we have about close to 100 nursing schools. Then think about other counties. Right now, as I'm to my understanding, I think Nima has about, in Nima we have about 3 institutions that offer nursing. We have the UNU, Nima University, LRCC in Nima. Now, go to other countries. And those institutions are jam-packed with people. So we produce a lot of nurses. And at the end of the day, every day they're protesting because we don't have the resources to, open everybody. But it is not just nursing alone that make the healthcare fee. That's the thing we should be able to look at. Because various components comes together. You have the administrative sector that manages the hospital. You have this other component that come, those things play, they come hands in hands. Let's have that ideas, that thinking, that thought. And administrators of those higher institutions, we need to start, we need to now start adopting and bringing in curriculum that align with the market. This one government job will depend on, or somebody do accounting. How many person will Ministry of Finance employ? How many accountants? All those ministries. Getting job in Liberia, I would say, is who know you. It's not just Liberia alone, it's everywhere. But I think in those professional areas, it should be based on qualifications and learning. And in my area of specialization, I was looking for a job. And then every other qualification, every other requirements they were asking for, I have it, but I lacked one. And that one cost me the job. Because they wanted somebody with certificate in coding. Well, they didn't have certificate in coding. But then I did coding, which is part of my profession. But I didn't have certificate in coding. But I wanted to see the certificate. I said, no, they knew a false part, but then they were specific about having be a certified coder. So, and to get it, I gotta go back and go do that the certificate program. That's an online something about 1 or 2 months. Do it and get certificate for it. Because they get a learning platform that you can learn from and get your certificate into. So it is important that we align ourselves with the job market. Equally so, the technical institution we're talking about. we now see that we are now at where we were before, very stagnant, no, you know, the issue of electricity back then after everything was dark and things, we didn't really, nobody really care about electricity. We wouldn't care about survival. And now you see that from that point to where we are now, we are progressing gradually. You go, you learn your little electricity work, you become an electrician. Construction. Every day we're building Liberia. But one thing too is that we gotta be sincere with what we do. We gotta be sincere. Like our guest was saying something that employer complain. You know, at times some of the things that people don't know is that for us that live in the US, when it comes to phone, there's kind of job that you do, you don't use phone. One is me. When I go to work, my phone is in my car. I spend 12 hours and 12, let's just say 12 to 14 hours at work. My phone is in my car for that period of time. I don't have access to it. Or either I'll leave it home with my children. Because taking it is useless. You're not using it. You're not carrying it in. It stays right in your car. Likewise, other job. People get fired on job because what? You know, the reason is that phones are distraction. They distract you from doing what you have to do. So based on that, you realize that employers or company will place more emphasis on do not use phone while at work. Yes, emergency comes. Like even in hospital setting or other places of work, your phone is on silent, it's in your pocket. If it rings and you are not busy, you either go to the bathroom and answer your call, or on your break time, you touch your phone. But for me, on a lot of my job, when I enter, the door shut. I don't use phone. If I want to use phone, I use the phone in there and call outside to my family. They have my emergency line. Any emergency, they call directly in the facility and then they will get. So, what am I driving at? If God blesses you to have a little piece of job, you do it with dedication. One thing I see with us Liberians is time. We don't respect time at all. And I think the only thing that will make people to, have that thought changed is the day we start clocking in. You have no chronos or clocking system where an employee will go, if 8 o'clock they got to clock in, that's the time we will see we'll be punctual about time. But once we don't have those systems, all we know we got to be to work at 9 o'clock or maybe 8 or 9, and then by 3 o'clock we gone. We will not see punctuality. One time I had an argument with a Russian guy. We were working together, and he was on shift, and I was to go and relieve him. It was his first time seeing me. It was my first time seeing him. So when he asked the supervisor, "Who's this person?" They said he's a Liberian. He already have a negative mind, negative thought process about Liberia because he worked with a couple of Liberians for that company, and the negative thing is that they don't come on time. They don't come on time. So when he asked himself, he's a Liberian. He already have that preconceived notion that I will be late. And I'm the kind of person that if I am to start maybe at 7 by 6:40, 6:45, I should be there. So this time I went 20 minutes before time. He didn't believe it. He thought maybe the person that was to come didn't come. I said, so what's the issue? And why are you so surprised? He said, you are Liberian, right? I said, yes. He said, it surprised me because Liberians are never on time. I said, what do you mean? So because you're there with some other Liberians that weren't on time, so it means you see all Liberians, they are now on time, right? He said, yes, Liberians are never on time. I said, no, don't ever say that. So now if I say Russians are this, how will you feel? And then he said, oh yeah, you're right. It's because of my experiences with them. I said, yeah, you have experience with other people. That does not mean that other people don't respect time. Equally so is vice versa. You have things that Russians do, but not everybody do. Not all Russians do. So let's have that, balance that if you don't know me, I don't know you. We haven't interacted. So don't have that notion that once I'm part of this group, then it means we are all the same. And that's our issue. We don't want to be sincere with ourselves. We got to be serious on the job that we do. If you have this a job that you do, you got to be serious. But y'all will go to those places, y'all there on phone every day, gisting this and that. Man, if I was an employee like bro, nobody, I would bring a chrono system. Everybody clocking. Everybody got a biometric, you clocking by yourself. Nobody clocking for you. Your own badge. That's the only way we will have system. We complain about job. The little one you get hold like chicken head. And be equipping yourself to be out there more. We gotta do better, man, folks. We gotta do better. Learning doesn't stop. Learning is a continuing process that we have to continuously learn and not stop learning. Equip yourself. I get a point. We are not yet to the point where we have internet to our disposal 24/7. But the little one you can make use of it. There are a lot of learning opportunities online. Sincerity is what matters. And somebody was asking me, they all that thing you're doing. How you can do it? How you can take your test? When it comes to college education and online learning, there are ways that you take tests that you are tested with your integrity. If you cheat, they know. And this time with the introduction of AI everywhere, even if you write and submit, if it's not your own work, it will be flagged. It will send it right back to you. So everything you do it with sincerity and put your mind into it that, yeah, I got to do it and do it with sincerity. So let us, be, I would say, hold those jobs that we have now with sincerity and stop bluffing. Because when you did that one thing from your mouth, you're going to start from square zero. I don't think you want that. So, folks, it is us, our very selves, the way we will handle things. But equally so, our institutions need to be revamped. Administrators, board of trustees, and whosoever manages college or tertiary institution in Liberia, it is quite important that we look at the market value right now, things that are in demand, and make our curriculum strong. I tell you, if our curriculum is strong enough, we align with what is happening around the globe. And I always tell you this. Nurses from India, nurses from Nigeria, there's an agency that hires nurses from Nigeria. They come here and work for the length of time they will work here for. Once that time expires, they go back. They go back to their home country. But I'm not seeing a Liberian from Liberia coming here, work as a nurse, without them living here, going to school here. And that is, we have to, relook at our educational sector and try to align with what is happening around the globe. Technology, issue of data management, data analytics, business analytics. We just focus on business management, accounting, business report administration. Who you coming to manage? However, they are applying for representative job. Somebody know how to speak small book now, one become representative. You go there and you become serious over in the house. How many are there? I'm talking to you. I know you because you're going to indict people. You're quick to indict people because you can indict me. Anyway, I got my same brother there. I got my man Anders there, and other people. But on a serious note, we have to have a second thought of our education. What can we do? The kind of professions that is making headway. The people that, these are things that we need to align our, institution with. Every year we put out students from various disciplines. But are we getting those jobs? Is those jobs available? Every year we put on people with business degree, accountant, nurses. Are we getting them? How many anesthesiologists we have in Liberia? How many of them? How many? But these are areas that people, makes the money. For anesthesiology salary, if you really go advancing to it, how much for it here? You'll be there, everything are just nurses. Public health. I see too, we are on a path of everybody public health epidemiology. There are specialization too in public health. There are areas too in public health that you can specialize in. It is not just epidemiology is good. You want to be a scientist, research, fine. But we need to mold our minds not just on one thing. Now, public health, you also have epidemiology. You also, within the same public health, you have global health management. You have public health policy management, and public health this, environmental health. All of that forms part of public health. You can specialize in those areas. But I am seeing a trend in Liberia where epidemiology is good. We pray for any disease to happen in Liberia, but any disease kind of thing that you go like corona, we kind of, you're the one who will send out to go investigate. It's important, folks. Very important that we, have second thought on what we do. And the institution too needs to do a better job. They are doing their best. And one thing that we lack in Liberia that of recent it has been introduced, and hopefully it will be starting at the University of Liberia is psychology. I've never heard that somebody did psychology major in Liberia until of recent that University of Liberia has begun, doing it as major. These are areas that needs people. People went in their sociology, another group of career that, everybody sociology. NGOs, how many NGOs in Liberia right now? By then, right after the war, a lot of NGOs were there, a lot of people with sociology degrees, were, benefiting. But y'all we don't have, a lot of those NGOs now. People that did sociology. How many of them you see counseling people? Let me go do my latest sociology. Yeah. When you did a latest sociology, you came back now. Where you working? I'm not mocking you. I'm not mocking people, but the reality here is that we have to align ourselves. So since you got your one bachelor in our sociology, you think you can go and do something else? Bachelor is the beginning of everything. You can get bachelor and go do different things and get master in different things. It's a foundation. You already have that foundation. You don't need to specialize in a specific area. You can go and do sociology. You can go and go do different things. You can go and go do education. You can go and become public health expert. You can go and do RT major. It's not just confined to one thing. You look at the market value, what is in demand, and what you think you can get. So it is our hope that, we will begin to adapt, to open our minds and begin to do things differently than the way we are doing them now. Because on a serious note, our education sector needs serious overhaul, both tertiary and secondary education. Because if somebody was telling me, I'm an educator, and I was having conversation and said, listen, when it comes to secondary education, it is elementary and up to 8th grade. If the person misses that foundation and gets to high school, forget it. You're done. If the foundation is not solid within those period, within those classes, and then once you're in high school, then you're all the way on your way out. And after that, where you going? In a college. If you don't have that foundation, so I think I bought the opinion of our guest here tonight that it's about time that we revisit those institutions, our tertiary institutions, revisit the trend, the market, and try to align those disciplines with them. Instead of the traditional thing we're doing always. Every year we put out a lot of students into various disciplines, sociology, health, public administration, business management, and you name it. Every year we do. But then people are coming out no job. No job. People coming out, their whole attention is how they will go to ministry or to any government ministry and go be there and get on a little court. And based on that, we lie on one another like crazy, just so that we'll be favored by another person to applaud us. We're not discrediting your profession or any other professions, but what we just say here is that it's about time that we take a step back and look at the workforce, the education system, the market value, what is trending right now, and then we align ourselves with that. And I always say, not everybody is meant to go to college. You can go learn your literature and make living out of it. Now, let me give you one example. Let's look at Mr. Number 5 representative, who he was. No disrespect to his profession and character, but who he was. Construction, he did construction with DDR, the disarmament program that happened way back. It is that construction that brought that guy to lead line. He crossed paths with now Vice President Jeremiah Mancun. He was building most of that main project he built. Today you see him. That is his specialization. No matter representative, the last time when he was working in his district, you know what he did? He himself was there as an engineer. It is a trade that he learns that is part of him. It never leaves until he goes down. It's part of him forever until he's called to rest. These are things that we're talking about. You learn trade. But all we know is we want to go get PhD, master, doctor. We want to get MD. We want when we come in and say that they may come in down. Me, if I ain't any other government position like bro, hey, I'll be one a funny guy, but very serious. If I were any director or even minister in Liberia, when coming to work, I will not use my official car. I will bring it, maybe either my driver or whoever assistant assigned to me will use that car. But I'll make sure and contact one taxi board. Get out there in the morning and consume money and come to work and can see how people will come to work. Listen, you do it 1 or 2 times. When your workers come to see you, you're already there, but your car not parking, you're there. You will see. People will say, my man, that man, that time they will say, that man, he doing things, he just treating people like he need to take time, man. I thought I would be thinking negatively and this and that. But you know, this is how society works. Now I on my leo, I mind my business. I don't step on nobody's toes. Nobody should step on my toes. As Dr. Yole will say, I'm on my lane. So it's quite important, folks. Education is good, but the kind of education we consume causes the problem. We are saying it so that people can have second thought. The ideas. The ideas. It's what we want. Let's listen to our father, James Dopo, and then we will wrap it up from here tonight. Sweet Sweet Cassava Leaf is not for good alone. The late Professor Jones Dopo. Yeah, those men have, made their name. Now they've been called to glory. Well, folks, we want to say thank you to all of you that follow us here tonight. Liberian Network is always a serious problem. But it was a good show with our guests speaking to us on his recommendations, and you name it. We will continue to provide those awareness to the public, and we hope that it will one day digest people. Because, like I said, college is not meant for everybody, but we all have specific things that we are interested in to do. And let us not be misled or maybe influenced by other people on what to do. Our decisions should speak out. Our decisions should speak. That's why we are today. God's willing, will be here tomorrow with another edition of the Tri-River online platform called the RiverSide Talk. We will be here with that. And Wednesday, we'll be in conversation with soon to be Dr. Charles Munkeyo. And then I'll be meant to and then I NUB person too. Yeah. The minds are making headway too. The minds are making headway professionally. So on Wednesday, we'll be in conversation with Mr. Charles, Honorable Charles T. Wonkeyo. He was he one-time contested for District Number 2 representative seat. And we'll be in conversation with him here on Wednesday without deeper into education and that of Nehemiah University as well. So this week is Education Week. We'll be with them. And talks are on our way to provide some guests. We will bring you guys guests as we will bring guests here as we have the time and get a confirmation from them. So thank you all for your time here tonight. God bless you all. God's willing. We'll see you all tomorrow here on the edition again. Thank you. Bye-bye from my end.